Okay, so first thing first, you need to install Power BI Desktop. We will take a look at how we need to install Power BI Desktop. Before that, we will quickly take a look at the minimum system requirements. So these are the minimum system requirements. It supports Power BI Desktop, supports Windows 7, Windows 8, all these versions, and it supports both 64-bit as well as 32-bit, and it requires .NET Framework 4.5. I don't think so. You need to install it explicitly. I think while installing Power BI, it will give you an option to install this one as well. And then the CPU and memory. This is the bare minimum requirement, but I would strongly recommend have 8 GB RAM. And if you have i3, i5, i7, laptop, that is more than sufficient. And the Power BI desktop is no longer supported on Windows 7. Okay, someone asked the question, what is Power BI desktop? Power BI desktop is Microsoft product using which we can create visually appealing, interactive dashboards and reports. Okay, and this is one of the Microsoft's either leader in the market when it comes to data visualization tool like Power BI Desktop. It has gained a lot of momentum. A lot of companies now they started recruiting people for Power BI Desktop. There is a significant demand for data analytics with Power BI Desktop background. Okay, and even if let's say even for a data scientist, it is a good tool. Okay, so because in Power BI Desktop they introduce a lot of artificial intelligence related features. We'll start with the simple one, and gradually I will help you to build your knowledge on the complex part. Okay, and the next thing is, you need to download the Power BI Desktop. This is the link, you can use it, or the best way I would suggest is, right, you can go to Google, and I hope all of you connected this Zoom meeting from your laptop, right? So, but henceforth, make sure that you are connecting from your laptop, the Zoom. Okay, in your laptop, you go to browser and type Zoom, and from there you connect it, or you just click the link which I sent it from your laptop. I hope all of you are familiar with how to connect to this one, the web.whatsapp.com. Okay, it's always a good practice if you connect your WhatsApp, or if you install WhatsApp in your laptop or desktop, it will be good, so that whenever I send anything, right, any file, or during that at the time of training, if if you ask me any script which I give you a demo, I can send it quickly to this WhatsApp instead of sending email. WhatsApp is pretty simple thing, right? You can, if you connect it via web, you can download it, whatever the files that I send it, or whatever the script I send it, you can just copy it and you can execute it simultaneously in your laptop and practice it. So that's the reason why I request you all to connect Zoom from your laptop, and also WhatsApp also from browser. If you connect it, it will be good. Browser or in your laptop, if you install it, that will be good. So okay, now we will take a look at how to install the Power BI Desktop. One second. It is a absolutely zero cost product. You don't have to. It is a it doesn't involve any licensing cost at all when it comes to Power BI Desktop. And I just show you all, and then download Power BI Desktop. Just type Power BI download. All of you, please type it side by side with me. Download Power BI Desktop. Just type it and then hit the search icon. Once you hit the search icon, you can find out of these items that listed out, right? You can see that the search result. The first search result, you can find the downloads. Okay, so you can find the downloads. You just click on downloads. When you click on this, it will take you to this page. I just share this link to you all in the chat window. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so if you cannot get into this site, you just hit the link which I sent you in the chat window. And if you scroll down a bit, you will find, one second, I just, In this page, you need to scroll down a bit and you will find something like Microsoft Power BI Desktop download advanced download options are available here. So I mean this one, you will find this one. You need to hit the advanced download options. Okay. When you hit this one, it will take you to the next page. And then if you, I don't know why, what is this? Okay. So when you, it will take you to the next page. In the next page, you will find language. And here you can see the drop down thing icon. Okay. When you click on it, you can find different languages that are available. The Power BI desktop available in these languages, but we are not going to disturb this one. Let it be there English. Click on download. When you hit the download, once again it will take you to the next page, and here you can see you can see two different exe files. Since most of us are using 64-bit, right? So it is always recommended to use this one. And next thing is once you select this here, once you select it here, and on the right bottom, you'll find the next button. Click on the next button. Your download will get initiated. Look here, your download. Okay. So in my case, I just use this folder here. I download. So I would suggest you to better install in C drive, download it and install in C drive. Okay. Look here. I just click on it. I have already, okay, save this location. Okay. Let me probably somewhere YouTube, some folder. Okay. In your case, you give some meaningful name because you have already downloaded this file several times. Then now the download, it's in progress. Download is in progress. Once it gets downloaded successfully, you need to just click on the exe file. The installation is very, very simple process when it comes to Power BI. Okay. And I hope all of you guys are doing it side by side, right? Please confirm it in the chat to say yes or no, whether you are doing it side by side with me or not. I would strongly suggest you to, download and install now itself. Okay, Deepa, you are done, right? Okay, you downloaded this. Okay, look here, right click on this one. See, now the file got downloaded. Just keep the cursor over here and right click on it, and it will take you to the show in folder. Look at this, my exe file. You just click on it once. So the installation window will get launched. Let's wait for a moment. Okay, look here. It asks us. It asks us for our confirmation whether I can go ahead and install it. Yes, run this file. Look here, the first screen, you will get it like this. Select language English. Don't disturb anything from now on, okay? Simply click next button. That's it. So once you click the next button, it will once again prompt you for your consent, whether you want to go ahead and install the Power BI desktop. Yes, click on yes. You need to wait for some time. Look here, now you will get something like preparing to install message. You can see it, okay, like this. And then it will take you to the next screen. Okay, in the installation window, it will take you to next window, next screen. Here you can see something like computing space requirements. It will take a few moments to check how much space that you have it in your C drive or so. And in that case, you need to make sure that before installation in your C drive, you have at least 100 GB free space, or in the worst case, 50 GB free space. If you have it, it will be good. 50 GB free space should be there at least in the interest of performance and also right. So it needs to have sufficient space. We will be installing SQL Server also in the C drive. Okay, SQL Server, and after installation of SQL Server, we'll be installing SQL Server Management Studio, because you need to be good with writing SQL queries in Microsoft SQL Server, because Microsoft SQL Service are relevant to Microsoft Power BI tool. But there are customers, right? It is not necessarily they have to use Microsoft SQL Server. So we have seen the customers, the different US customers, we have seen they are using different RDBMS systems, right? Some people they use Oracle, and some people they use SAP HANA, and some they use Teradata. Different companies they use different RDBMS. Okay, so um, but at the end of the day, the SQL query, writing SQL query is pretty common. Only thing is, from one RDBMS to other RDBMS, if you see the SQL query syntax, it will be slightly different. Otherwise, the concept is pretty straightforward. So in all kind of RDBMS, though there is a slight difference in syntax, the whatever the operation that we use, right, or whatever the functionality we can, what are the features that we can get it from them, in most of the thing from the development point of view, it's all same. For example, if you want to perform left outer join, right outer join, this is possible in almost all the RDBMS. But what, as part of this training program, you will learn is how to write SQL in Microsoft SQL Server. Okay. So once you learn how to write an SQL query in Microsoft SQL Server, that is more than sufficient. So here we call it as a TSQL, Transact SQL. Look here, it takes this much of time to compute the space requirements. It'll go and check how much space you have it in your hard disk. And if you have sufficient space, the next button will get enabled. Once the next button get enabled, you need to just hit the next button. It will take you to the next screen. That's all. Once the computing space requirements, this process is over and the next button get enabled, you need to keep click next, next, next. But make sure that you install this Power BI desktop on a C drive. But by default, it will pick up the default installation folder, from your C drive. You don't have to make any changes, guys. I will tell you, don't make any changes to the configuration. Simply, you need to hit the next button, from one screen to another screen, right? So once the next button get enabled, you need to keep hit the next, next, next. That's it until you see installation was successful. Okay, look here. In the interest of time, I'll just show you the screenshot. What is going to happen? So once you select the language, English, and when you click on the next, it will do the check, like computing space requirements. Once that has been done, the next button will get enabled. And when you hit the next button, it will take you to the next screen. Here you need to accept. You need to select the accept the terms in the license agreement, and then you need to hit the next button. And then when you hit the next button, it will take you to the next screen wherein you will see the folder name, C program files, Microsoft Power BI desktop. If you want to change it, you can change it. I would strongly recommend don't make any changes. Simply hit the next button. When you hit the next button, you will see a message something like this: ready to install Microsoft Power BI desktop. And then just click on install. Okay, that's it. The moment when you click or hit the install button, it will take some time to install. So you can see the progress bar, copying new files, something like that. It will take for a while, and then you will find a message like installation was successful. Until you see the message like installation was successful, you have to wait. You need to have a lot of patience here. In my case, I've already installed Power BI Desktop. Even after the computing space requirements, this step is over. It will Tell me whether you want to ignore or repair the existing one. Migrating feature stays from related application, guides you through the installation. I'm going to cancel this, okay, because I've already installed. Okay. In your case, you need to continue continue hitting the next button until you find this progress bar. Once the installation has been done, you can see in this page itself, installation was successful. Okay, you will find something like installation was successful. Once you find the installation was successful, you click on this cross and close it. The next step is you need to check whether the installation has been done perfectly or not. For that, you go to your start button. Here in the search, right, type the tool name Power BI Desktop. When you type this, you will see the icon here, and click on the Power BI Desktop. You just type Power BI Desktop, okay, here, and then either you click on this icon or you click on the open here. And but it will take some time. Okay, you need to have a lot of patience to see the Power BI Desktop tool get launched. Okay, so at one point in time, you will not see the load button, right? So it will not, you will not see anything, but you have to wait. You have to wait for some time. Okay, to until you see this one. Initially, it will be a bit slow. Probably, when you open next time, it will be faster. Now the tool is being launched. Let us wait for few minutes. Guys, please do it side by side. Don't postpone it. Okay. So no more postponing. It is very simple installation. Okay. Like installing Microsoft Office, right? How simple it is. The same way installing the Power BI Desktop, but in the case of Power BI Desktop, it is not going to ask you any license key. It is absolutely free, and there is no trial version. Okay, so if, for example, in the case of Tableau, when you download and install it, you can use it only for 15 days. There is a trial period, but here there is no trial period. You can use it as long as you want it. Okay, that is the beauty of this tool. But every once in 2 months, approximately, you can go to their website, Microsoft website, and go and check are there any new version or new releases are available. Look here, now the tool has been launched. Still, it is loading, everything here. Okay, other components of this one, it is loading it. Let's wait for a few more minutes or seconds. Look here, the moment when it gets launched, you will get the welcome screen. You just click on this cross here. We don't need this one. Just click on the cross and close it. That's it. Okay. Now I will walk you through how to navigate to the Power BI Desktop. Okay. Look here. This is what your Power BI Desktop. On the left side, you can see three icons. This is the one is for report view. This is the one is data view, and this is your model view. Okay, and on in addition to that, we have something that's called Power BI Query Editor. Okay, Power BI Query Editor. Okay, so there are three components. You need to remember it very well. The one is the report report view, and then the other one is query editor, and the next one is Power Pivot, which is nothing but model view. Okay, so these are the three things you need to remember it. This is the very fundamental thing that you need to remember it. So what is report view? What we are seeing the moment when you launch your tool, what you are seeing is a report view. This is what your report view. So this is where we can create charts and so on. For example, I just click on just under the visualizations pane on the right side. You can see different visuals. What do you mean by visual? It's all charts. For example, I just click on the clustered column chart. This is one chart, and in addition to that, I need to use some tree map, tree map visual. Whatever the chart that you wanted, you can just click on it just beneath the visualizations. It will get moved to your report canvas. This is where we create the report. Okay. And okay, now I understood where to create the report. This is what is called as your report view. This is one component. Okay. And next one is query editor. The query editor, I always refer this with our home kitchen. In our kitchen, we do cooking, isn't it? So let's say you bought a fresh fish from the market, and what you do is you need to clean the fish first, right? So you need to cut the fish, and you need to clean the fish, and you need to wash it, and then you need to put the recipe. So you need to mix the recipes with the fish, right? And then only you go ahead and prepare the food, right? But the in simple term in the kitchen we do all kind of, let's say we buy vegetables, we cut it, everything, clean it, and then we mix the recipes, everything. Same way in the case of query editor, we will clean the data. The simple one common sense question is, let's say if somebody is asking you to create a report, you can use Excel sheet, but you are asked to use Power BI desktop. That's the reason why they hired you. Okay, forget about Power BI or Excel. To create a report, what is the first thing that you needed? What is the first thing you needed? Data. You need a data. Without data, you cannot do anything, right? You need to have the data. Without data, how can you create a report? So otherwise, if you don't have the data, it will be something like this. So these visuals got created dummy data. Here, you don't have any data here. Unless you load the data into this visual, it is meaningless. So data is very much important. Okay, now I have the data. My manager has given me the data. Fine. The next thing is how good the data is. The data should be clean. If the data is not clean, if it has a lot of problems in it, with that data, if you create a report, your report will not look good. It will be good. You can use different visuals. You can do formatting, everything, but the accuracy will not be good. It is not reliable. Though the dashboard and report looks very good, compelling, end of the day, if it shows something wrong thing, right, it will mislead us. So first thing is you need to have the data. Second thing is you need to clean the data. So using query editor, we do the cleaning, everything. So first component is report view. Second component is Power Query Editor. And what you are saying here is the report view. Now this is the component, okay? And this is where we create all the reports, everything. And what about query editor? You need to click on the transform data. See the transform data icon, you can find it under the home ribbon, right? So, and then in the home ribbon, you can see that transform data. Click on the transform data, the first one. It will take you to the query editor. The query editor, this component will get launched. Separately. Okay, this is separate component. It will get launched separately. So now Power Query Editor got launched. So this is what your Power Query Editor. So what you are seeing here, right? This is what your Power Query Editor. This component is your Power Query Editor. This is where we do all kind of data cleaning, and you have a lot of options are available here. in this case. Okay, and with that you can do a lot of data transformation without doing heavy lifting. Again, the simple uh, data transformation, you can do it with the help of the various features that are available as part of a Power Query Editor without doing heavy lifting. Okay, so now you understood what is report view component, what is query editor. In the report view only we create the reports, visuals, everything. The query editor we do the data cleaning. Next one is Power Pivot. Power Pivot is the third component. So you can you can minimize it. Okay, I just minimized it, the Power Query Editor. Look here, this is one the third component. Okay, I'm talking about the term. This is what your Power Pivot. And when you hover the cursor here, which means when you keep the cursor on top of it, you will see something like model. Okay, and this is the third component. It is also called as a Power Pivot. When I click on it, it will take you here. You will find all the tab files that which you loaded into Power BI desktop here. And also you can see the relationship. Look at this table 1, table 2, for example. So this is, sorry, this is what your table 1, table 2, and table 3. All these three tables, in this case, right, got linked with some line here. So this is a line, right? This is called your relationship. So we create the data model as part of the Power Pivot. So at this moment, don't worry, what is data model. We will explain it in detail in the later chapter, okay? Fine, now we understood three components. One is the report view, second one is Power Query Editor, the third component is your Power Pivot. Power Pivot, this is where we do the data modeling. It is something like before you construct a house, you need to have the blueprint, right? If you don't have the blueprint, what will happen, Deepa? Or Alfat, what will happen without blueprint? If you build the house, what will happen? You can still construct a house, but later point in time, if you realize, man, in my living room or kitchen, I should have kept additional taps. It's something like, you need to have some kind of plan before you do anything, right? Without having a plan in place, if you go ahead and do it, what will happen? For example, yeah, right. So, yeah, so the blueprint is a classic example, right? Like a architect before constructing an house, right? What he does, he's the one gives us the blueprint. So in the kitchen, this is where you will have the tap. In the living room, this is where you will have the tap. And if you want to make any changes, you can tell them upfront. They will make a changes, and then they will proceed with constructing the house. Same way, when it comes to Power BI Desktop, we need to do the data modeling part. Not only Power BI Desktop, you take any application. If you want to build a web application, or you want to build a website, or you take any applications, before you start develop the applications, you need to have your data model. You need to have a solid data model in place. Without having the data model, if you start developing your application, you will land up something like the building thing, right? So without having the blueprint, you constructed the house. Later point in time, if you want to make changes, it involves significant amount of effort. You need to break the wall, and you need to, let's say you have the, a multi-storied house, two floor or three floor house is there, you constructed. Later point in time, if you want to have a tap in your first floor, you need to break all the walls from your top floor to your first floor, because your septic tank is located in the terrace, right? So that is the, that involves a lot of effort. So that is the reason why first we will put all our thought as part of the data model design, right? So which all tables required, which all columns are required, all these things we do discussion, we do extensive discussion with the all the stakeholders, and then we will do the design. Fine, at this moment ignore about it. Okay, we will discuss in detail with simple examples in the later sessions, don't worry. Okay, just remember the three components. One is the report view, second one is the Power Query Editor. That is where we do data cleaning, everything. I'll just show you one more time. I just minimized it. This is what my Power Query Editor. So this is, look here, if you click on the transform, there are a lot of options. You can do, one second. You can reverse the rows, and you can pivot the columns, and you can do unpivoting. All those things you can do it. You can merge the columns, and you can split the column, and you can apply some statistics related measures, math related thing, all the things, right? It's so just by clicking on these icon, you can perform that kind of data shaping, reshape. You can reshape your data, or formatting your data, or you can detect the data type, and you can do pivoting, unpivoting, group by, all these data related formatting, reshaping, cleaning, everything you can do it as part of the Power Query Editor. So Power Query Editor is also one of the important component in Power BI Desktop. So report view, Power Query Editor, data model thing, the Power Pivot. These are the three important components. You should be aware of it. Anyhow, don't worry. I will show you with some examples so that you will be able to understand when we need to use which component. So for example, okay, now as I told you a while back, to create a report, you need to have data. The first thing you need is a data. Without having the data, you cannot do anything. And second thing is, yes, you need to have this tool, with you. You can go and download and install it. Yes, now I have the data, I have the tool. Now I'm all set to create the report, and I can do everything. But before creating the report blindly, you need to load the data first, and then the second step is you need to check how good the loaded data. Okay, and in case of any problem with the data, and if it requires any reformatting or reshaping, you do it, and then you do data model design. And especially if you are using only one file, you don't have to do data model design. Okay, to start with, I'll just show you how to load a comma separated value file. I just go ahead and click on the get data icon, and you can see a lot of data sources that are available. These are the connectors. For example, if you want to load the Excel file, click on this icon. And if you want to if you want to connect to SQL Server database, you click on it. So in our case, for the sake of simplicity, I start with how to load a comma separated value file. I just click on this connector. So now we are, so in this folder, in my case, in my laptop, I have two drives, C drive, D drive. In the D drive, I have a folder by the name of dat1. In this folder, I have a file called sales w04.csv file is there. So, okay, I just selected this file. What is a CSV file? I guess all of you are aware of it. Okay, CSV stands for comma separated values. Each column is separated by comma. Okay, that is what your comma separated value files. It is also called as a flat files. FLAT, flat files. Okay, look here. I just want to load this file into Power BI Desktop. I click on open here. It will take for a while to establish a connection with the file sales underscore w04.csv, and then it will open up a data preview window. It will just give you top the first the 50 records or 100 records. Okay, now you can see that with this data preview window, you can take a quick look at how the data looks like in this file. So usually the Excel file, right, sales w04.csv, in our case, we can go to the folder. Look here, in my case, I have a folder called dat1. So look here, this is the dat1, and here I can go and type w04. Okay, this is the file, right? I just click on it, open it. But once you join a company, once you get into a real-time project, so you will not have access to this one also. Okay, so maybe you should be able to, so right, so they will simply tell you the folder name, use the get data, and then go and pick up the file. And it is not advisable opening the file. Okay, because let's assume that in that file you have 100,000 records, or the volume of data is very high. If you open that file, what will takes a lot of time. But what Power BI Desktop, when you load it, the moment when you load it, it will take some time, because if the volume of it is very high, obviously it will take time. But in the data preview window, the beauty is it will not show the entire data that are part of your CSV file. It just show you first, 20 records or 150 records. Fine. So with this, you will get the quick idea at a high level. You can see that, okay, sales column is there, quantity, all these columns. These are the columns that I need. Okay, good. But the one problem what we can find it here is, just above this row. Look here, just above this row, we can see a blank value here. Okay, there's a blank record is there. And then the column names are not meaningful. Look here, the column one, column two. Ideally, it should be like, this one, right? The row ID is supposed to be here. The order ID is supposed to be there here. This row should have been, used as a column header. But since there is a blank record exists in just above this line, it's simply Power BI Desktop simply coined some name. Okay, so you column one, column two, something like that. Okay, so there is a problem here. We need to address this here. The what problem? This row should get promoted as a column header. Okay, if this one appears here, it really makes sense. Okay, look here, I just hit the load button here. You have three options. Okay, so load button, transform button, cancel. When you click on cancel, this file will not get loaded. So okay, when you click on transform data, it will open the Power Query editor. Before that is where we do all kind of data cleaning. But so all these issues, right, we can address it here in the Power Query editor. Now I don't want to go to Power Query editor upfront. Instead, I just click on load button. First, let the data get loaded, and then we'll do the data transformation. Now let us wait for some time. It will take some time to load the sales underscore w04.csv file data into my Power BI desktop. Look here, it is creating connection in model. $25,000 records got loaded. Now the question is, where can I go and check, where this file got loaded? You need to wait for some time. On the extreme right corner, you'll find something like fields, and just beneath this, you will see this one, sales W04. What is this file? Sales underscore W04. This is a CSV file. So it got loaded successfully into my Power BI desktop, but along just next to the CSV file, right, sales W04, you can see table icon. So with this, what you need to understand is, irrespective of the type of the file, whether it's a XLL file or whether it's a .csv file or whether it's a JSON file, irrespective of the type of the file, once the data gets loaded into Power BI Desktop, it will consider all those file type as table. That's the reason why the table icon is displayed here. And next to the table, you will find the greater than icon. When you click on this, it will get expanded. You can see all the columns that belongs to sales W04. So we have a lot of columns. The 25, 26 columns are there, but the column names are, not. It's completely meaningless. Okay, instead of showing row ID, order date, it's showing something, strange here. It is quite strange. With this, we can understand this data file requires some kind of formatting, data transformation. Okay, what I do is I just open the Power Query editor. Look here, when I open the Power Query. So how do I open it? I'll just close it. I'll show you one more time. You need to click on the transform data and then click on the this one, and if it will take you here. Yeah, before that, before we get in here, I just tell you one more point. So where you need to check the file which you loaded, just beneath the fields pane, okay? You can see sales. So when you expand this, you can see all the tables, all the columns that belongs to this table, you can see it here. But you are not able to see the data. How can I see the data? That is where you need to use you need to click on another icon called data view. When you click on this, on the right side for sales W04, you can see it here also. Okay, and for the sales W04, right, in this file, whatever data was there, it will get displayed here. It will get populated here. In the case of when you hit this button, when you hit this icon, it will take, this is called your data view. Okay, in the data view, you can see all the data. You can see it here. So you might, don't get confused when I, hit uh, when I selected the CSV file, right, and then when I clicked the next, right, it was showing some data at that time. That was just a preview. It was showing only few records of the file. You want to see the entire data, right? After it gets loaded in Power BI Desktop, you can, when you click on this data view, you can see all the data out here. If you scroll down, you can see, sorry, you scroll down, you can see, and if you see at the bottom here, it will show you that this table has 25,006 rows. If somebody is asking you how many number of records are there, you go to the data view and check it out. Okay. 25,006 rows are there. But now, still there is a problem with the column name. It is something strange or weird. How this needs a fix. How do I fix it? That's when I just hit the home ribbon, and then under the home ribbon menu, we can see that transform data. Click on the transform data. This will take me to the Power Query Editor. This is where I'm going to fix those issues, the formatting issues, all the things. Look here, now what I'm doing currently, now I'm in Power Query Editor. Sorry, I just currently I'm in Power Query Editor. This is where I do all kind of data cleaning. Guys, don't worry, I'll wrap up in 10 minutes time because I have a couple of calls. And again, since today being the first session, I don't want to overwhelm you by covering so many things. Okay, currently where we are now, Power Query Editor. This is where we do all data cleaning, right? That's the reason why we have we have come here and click on the transform ribbon. And if you see here, one second, I just okay, I just minimize it a little bit, and when you click on the transform button, you can see the options like use first row as headers. Look here also we can see that in the first row we have blank space, and the column names, it is not showing the appropriate column name. So I just hit the transform. First thing I need to address this issue. In the transform ribbon, I can see something like use first row as headers. Okay, you just click on this down arrow. You have two options. Select the first option. Use first row as headers. So when you click on it, what will happen is it will consider first row as headers. But the first row is blank, but it will show some, again, strange value. What to do? We have, the blank space is there, right? So we cannot do anything. We cannot, blindly remove this. And we need to select this two times. First row headers. Look here, I just click on it. This blank record will get removed now, and that blank record got promoted as a column header. Still, it doesn't give me the correct column names. Once again, I hit the transform ribbon, use first row headers. I click on it, and I just click on the use first row as headers. Now what happened? The values, all these values, what we are seeing it, were appearing in the row. Now it got promoted to the column. I just redo the step one more time. Look here. So here only we have row ID, order ID. I need to move this from here to here. That is called promotion. Look here, use first row as headers. Use this first row. This is the first row. You can see the row, right? One. So use the, you need to move this first row as columns. So once again, I just go here. Now this row ID, order ID, got shifted to this one. Now it is good. Now it is in a, pretty good shape. Now we did some kind of shaping, right? This is called shaping or formatting. We did it. Very good. Or data transformation, we did it. And you need to notice one thing very carefully in the Power Query Editor. On the right side of this one, you can see something like query settings. You can see the sales W04. This is the file name, wasn't it? Once we loaded this file, comma separated value file into Power BI Desktop, it got considered as a table. But the same table, when you open it in the Power Query editor, you can see it is called as a queries, because the Power Query, right? Power Query editor, hence it considers each and every table itself as a query. Okay. Okay, but otherwise, it is, you don't have to worry too much about this. Okay, on the right side, you can see the query settings, the properties. So this is where you can give some meaningful name. You can, rename this with some meaningful name. Week 4 sales summary. So give some meaningful name. Okay, I just renamed this. But since, though I renamed it, the query as week 4 sales, but still in the report canvas, you still see sales W04. Still the same thing is appearing. So one second. What I will do is just move this up, the Power Query Editor. Now I just renamed the query name week 4. And this is very important thing. Applied steps. Sorry. This is the important thing. Okay, applied steps. Just beneath the applied steps, just beneath the applied steps, you will find different things here. Source, change type, promoted it as, whatever steps that you carry out in this thing, right? On this table, that will be registered here. It's something like a CCTV. Nowadays, in all the apartment, we have a CCTV camera, and with that, we can find out which person came first, which person came late. Similarly, whatever the actions that you do it. See, we promoted the first row as a column header. Look here, it registered that one. When you click on it here, in the formula bar, you can see something like promoted something. You might find something strange here. Table dot promoted change type one, promote all scalars true. Did you write any script here? No, right? All you did was you went to the transform ribbon, you just click on the use first row as headers. It automatically moved your first row as a column header. You just did point and click, but behind the scene, Power Query Editor uses something called M language, mashup language. Okay, it generates the query on your behalf. Whatever you do it. But from my side, I will generate the scripts for the actions, whatever you do it. This is for my understanding. That is what Power Query Editor tells us. You don't have to write the script. It generates on its own. Okay. So that is the reason why we say Power BI is a code-free software, right? You don't have to write any program or script here. That doesn't mean you are not supposed to write any script at all. Okay, but you don't have to write extensive code like in Java and other programming language. If you see, to perform even a simple the action, you need to write lines and lines of code. Here it is not like that. So what Power BI query editor or Power BI desktop tells is, you just do whatever you wanted on your behalf. I will generate the script. For you it should be very simple. Okay, now look here, I just remove this column, because for my data analytics I don't need this column. I just keep the cursor over here, right click on it, and then remove it. What I did, I just removed a column called row.id. Look here, the same action got registered here under applied steps. Hey, you removed the column. So in which step you removed? So in this step you removed, you just, when you click on this one promoted headers, okay, just before removing a column, you just move the first row to a column header, and then what you did, you removed the column. See, you might find something like change the type to, this one will get generated automatically. So it'll Power BI Power Query Editor behind the scene, it assign the data type to each and every column automatically. Okay, and next one is the removed columns. This is the one we did it. We removed it. So in the formula bar, you can see that is table dot remove column. There is a function called table dot remove columns, and in that, so you removed row dot id as part of this action. The step, this is what you did it. If I delete another column, for example, remove order id. So look here in the single function, it's a row dot id comma order. So these are the two columns you removed it from the data set. So later point in time, let's say you are sharing this report with your manager. So he's asking a question, hey, did you remove that column or not? He's asking you more than one time. When you share the file to him, and he will download your file and he will open it. When he opens the Power Query, you can see all the the steps that you carried out in sequence, right? So then he will say, okay, what you did was correct, what you said was correct. And then let's if you wanted to restore the, you want to go back to the previous data. So mistakenly, let's say you remove the order id column also. Later point in time you realize, this column I needed, mistakenly it removed it. So what you can do is here, right, simply make a changes to this code. Just from the comma you remove order id, that's all. Okay, and press enter. Look here, the row id column got restored. You got your column back.
The coding.
What is that? What was your question? Sorry, not able to hear you. So yeah, coding, we're not worry about coding. Okay, you don't have to do coding. Okay, it generates on its own. But if you learn coding some extent, right, it will be helpful. Okay, in the case of real-time scenario, we'll be doing extensive data, processing and all. In this case, it is very much. You can type it in the chat window, right? So there is some problem with the mic. I don't know. So I was able to hear only a little bit. It was your voice is breaking. So right. So this is how you can do it. So okay, you wanted to you want to get this column back. Okay. So what can I do, sir? Even I want this column back. So do I need to remove this? So in that case, what can I do? So what you do is, in that case, you just go to this thing. Okay, remove columns. Right. You want to revert this. In the case of Power Core Editor, you cannot perform Control Z Z. You cannot press Control Z. Z is nothing but Z. Like in Word document and other documents, when you type something later on, this you deleted it, and then you realize, no, I need whatever the thing I deleted it, right? So when you press Control Z, it will undo the changes, but that is not available in Power Core Editor. Instead, against each and every step, you will find the cross mark. When you click on the cross, this step will get removed. It's like Control Z. Okay, look here. I just click on this cross. Now the previous step got undone. Now we got the previous column back. Row.id is now available in my dataset. Okay, guys. So today, I just give you a brief. With this, I'm going to end the session. The reason is since this is the very first session. If you have not yet installed the software, install it, and then this data set, everything is available in my website. I'll just show you where you need to. All of you have, I guess all of you have access to my website. Just go to the browser, traininginchennai.info. This is the link I have shared with you all along with the credentials. And then you need to click on the login here. When you click on the login, you will find something like, so this one, this is where you need to type your credentials, your username and password. Hit the login button. It'll take some time. Okay, now if you scroll down, you'll find the course which you have registered for it. For example, here I just select Sumati. She enrolled for data science, full stack data science. And if you scroll down here, you will find two courses got assigned against this student. She is eligible to, she can learn, as part of the training program, you can learn Power BI as well as you can learn data science, right? So what you do is you just click on this course. Don't worry about the self-paced, okay, because it's all same, okay. This is where you will find the previous batch related videos. And look here, and download resources. Click on the download resources. On the right side, you will find the download icon. When you click on the download icon, right, so in this case, it will download a .zip file. Okay, .zip file. Once you download the .zip file, you move this file to a meaningful folder. Probably you can see Power BI training folder. Okay, the folder name can be Power BI training. Create a folder with that name. Move this zip file there and unzip it. This zip file has all the data, including the file which I use it in my current demo. Is nothing but sales underscore w04.csv. Okay. And then you load it into Power BI Desktop and watch my video and practice it. So now what I do is I'm going to close this Power Query editor. I don't need it any longer because I did all kind of formatting. If I want to do any more further reshaping or something, I will come back again, I'll do it. Okay, what I do is I just click on the file menu. I could see three options there: close and apply, apply, close. So what will happen is if I click the close, whatever the steps that I carried out, it will not get applied on this data set. Let's say you have done a lot of, you carried out a lot of steps, which means a lot of formatting, all the things. But mistakenly, if you click close, all the transactions, whatever you did, transformation will not get applied. But when you click on apply, all these steps will get applied permanently on your data set. But when you click on close and apply, it will apply all the steps and then it will close the Power Query editor. Look here, I'm going to use the first option. I just clicked on the close and apply. You will find something like there are pending changes in your queries. Look here quickly on the right side in the fields pane, just beneath this, you can see the sales W04, whereas we renamed it as week 4 sales in the Power Query editor. Whatever changes that you made it there, after you apply it, it will come to effect, right? So when you need to click on either apply or close and apply, only then whatever changes you made, it can be made permanent. You can see it in your Power BI desktop in the reports canvas, right? Just next to the report canvas, you can see all. No, now look here, column 1, column 2, column 3 got replaced with the proper name. And if you go to the data view, you can see the same thing, row ID. Okay, with this you are good. So far you learned how to load the comma separate value file into Power BI desktop and how to do reformatting. So how to promote the first row as a column header, you have seen it. Okay, so not all the files that you received from the customer, right? It's all in a perfect format, right? It'll be something like a raw, somewhere blank records will be, somewhere missing values. All these things you need to address it. Most of the data transformation or data cleaning related activities, we do it as part of Power BI query editor. So next one is, look here, I just click on the report view. If I want to switch from one view to another view, you need to use this icon. Okay, it will help you to switch from one view to another view or another component. Okay, now what I do is, already I have selected this visual. I just do it one more time. Look here on the right side under the visualization screen, I just select the column chart. This is my favorite chart. Okay, and here, and then now if you see here, right, this is what your data file. When you expand it, in this table, you will find all these columns here, right? So I just drag and drop the category here. See, 1 second, I'll take your question. Give me a second, okay? Just drag and drop the category and then quantity, if you drag and drop it here, you'll find, okay, in each category, how many units we sold, you can see it here. Yeah, fine, I'm done with this. Okay, so hope you understood. You got a fair amount of idea now, right? You develop some knowledge around how to start using the Power BI desktop, what components are there, and how to load a comma separated value files, how to perform data cleaning, data pre-processing, data reshaping using Power Query editor. And also I demonstrate with a simple visual, right, clustered column chart, how you can create a populate this visual with the columns, the fields from your data set. Hope you understood with this. Look here in this visual, you can see that in the x-axis category is there, y-axis is quantity is there. So one text and one numeric value is there. Anyhow, we have a separate chapter for data visualization. That point in time will explain you everything in detail. At this moment, do you understand whatever I covered it today by watching my video? After this session, probably after 1 hour, you will get my video link. Okay, so you can go and watch the video so that you and practice it side by side. Okay. Okay, guys, now I'm okay to take your questions. Any questions? 1 second, let me just go here. Any questions? I think Afat, you're talking, right? 1 second, let me. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and you can talk if you have any questions. Or you can WhatsApp me, okay? Or the other alternatives in the chat window, you can type it, okay? And if you have any questions, sometimes what will happen is whatever you talk, I could not hear. Some problem happens, and sometimes whatever I talk, you people cannot hear it. So what I usually do is I will before I start the session, I'll make sure that if you guys